Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to start off with hand tools and small equipment. And then the next episode we'll be moving on to large equipment, and then the episode after that we'll be moving on to pots and pans and molds. This is a lot of content. There is so much stuff for kitchens. This won't even be all of the things that you can buy for your kitchen. I will indicate whether or not I think that the item I'm showing you is essential to have in your home kitchen. All of the other equipment is just to give you an idea of what's available out there and what professional cooks get to use in the professional kitchens. So let's get started. Now, I have a lot of the things on this list. I did used to own a catering company, so I have huge hotel pans and giant ass bowls and all sorts of things in storage in the basement, and I'm not going to pull them out to show you. Also, within these categories, there's probably going to be a lot of different variations, and I will provide some pictures to illustrate that for you. But we're going to start off with a very basic kitchen tool, which is the peeler. And the peeler does come in a variety of different shapes and sizes. A peeler is used for peeling the flesh from fruits or vegetables. Some tasks can be performed with a paring knife, which I'll show you in a future episode. However, the safest for a new or novice cook is to stick with a peeler. They come in both a Y and a swivel shaped form. The next one's a can opener. A good can opener is hard to find. Can openers also come in a variety of shapes and sizes. Can openers, as the name implies, is used to open canned foods and canned goods. There are a variety of different types of can openers for the home kitchen and the professional kitchen, and there is a very big difference between the two. Usually a professional kitchen can opener is installed on a countertop and is very large. Next we have a melon baller, and melon ballers come in anywhere from 1/4 inch to 1 inch when it comes to the balling bowl. Melon baller also comes in a couple of different styles. A melon baller, or a Parisienne scoop, cuts round or oval shaped pieces out of melons and other soft fruits and vegetables. The melon baller should have a sharp edged bowl with a wooden or metal handle. Next, there's a kitchen fork. A kitchen fork is used to test doneness of meats and vegetables, lift large items, and steady meat and poultry while carving. Next, we have tongs, and I have some things to say about tongs. Tongs are used for quick turning and mixing large pieces of food during the cooking process. I've often used a tong for stirring foods in a pan. Long-handled tongs are great for grilling. Tongs come in various lengths between 6 and 16 inches with different handle materials and different styles. The ridges of a tong may help prevent dropping the item you're picking up. The handles of tongs are also made of a number of different materials. So I have some things to say about tongs based on a lot of different experience. So these are my tongs. You see they all have various different shapes. Now this is my newest tong, and when I use it like these, I have noticed you have to be careful. So when you're picking things up out of a dish and then moving it, if there's liquid, this, I don't know if you can see it, this design here causes the liquid to hold, and then it pours into your hand when you move the item. So you really want to make sure you have the right tong for the right tool. Each of these has their own little issue. The KitchenAid one, other than the leaking potential and the scalding of your hands potential, is my favorite tongs. It's heavy duty, it works well. Anyway, that's enough about tongs. So next we're moving on to whisks, and I also have a number of whisks, and my whisks tend to get jammed into drawers and get all messed up. So I'm not going to show you any of my whisks right now. However, these are some whisks on the market at this time. Whips come in a variety of shapes for a variety of different purposes. Sphere-shaped balloon whisks are used for incorporating air and therefore volume into some ingredients, such as egg whites and whipping cream. Flat, narrow shapes with fewer wires are appropriate for deglazing and stirring sauces, and also helps reduce lumps. One type of whisk is a French or sauce whip. It's the second most common type of whip on the market. Its elongated shape makes it suitable for use in straight-sided pans, deep vessels the balloon whips can't reach into. Its closely shaped wire makes it unsuitable for denser ingredients. This whip is best used for emulsions such as vinaigrettes or mayonnaise, batters, pancakes, and custards. The piano whip, or also known as the balloon whip, is a good all-around tool for blending, whipping, and beating thin to medium texture products. The shape allows the user to get good coverage in round bowls and other cooking vessels. Dry ingredients and dense ingredient mixtures clump up inside and between the wires much easier, which makes it a poor choice for blending thicker batters and doughs. A piano or balloon whip is best used for whipping cream, meringue, eggs, egg whites, and lightly mixing dry ingredients as a substitute for sifting. A ball whip, or a kettle whip, has long handles so that you can use it in deep kettles or stock pots. A ball or kettle whip is suited for soups and sauces. A flat whip is designed for shallow pans. A flat whip is appropriate for gravy, roux, sauces in shallow pans, removing poached eggs from water, and substitutes as a fish spatula when removing fish from liquid. Then there's a spiral whip, which breaks up clumps of dry ingredients for a smoother final product. A spiral whip is appropriate for gravy, sauces, vinaigrettes, salad dressings, and roux. And then there's the mini whip, which is mostly used in bar settings to whip eggs. Next, we have rolling pins. So rolling pins are used in a hot kitchen as opposed to a bakery on occasion, and there are a number of different kinds of rolling pins. Rolling pins are primarily used for rolling out dough. They're also good for crushing crackers, forming twills, flattening meats in the absence of a meat mallet, and can be made of a number of non-porous and porous materials such as wood, marble, plastic, ceramic, and copper. Heavier versions are generally better. Between a baker's rolling pin, a straight French rolling pin, and a taper rolling pin, each has advantages depending on what intended use is. The wood rolling pin is obviously the classic rolling pin and has two handles on either side. An aluminum rolling pin is perfect for working with sensitive doughs like puff pastry, Danish, and croissant. The aluminum material is less likely to make the dough stick to it, minimizing the amount of flour used when rolling when compared with a wood roller. A plastic rolling pin is excellent for rolling fondant icing. They're light and easy to use and dishwasher friendly. A silicone rolling pin is nonstick, lightweight, and an excellent alternative to plastic. And if you know me, I'm increasingly anti-plastic in the kitchen. So if you want to use something like plastic, I always recommend silicone. Next, we have a marble rolling pin. The weight and smoothness of a marble rolling pin offers a super smooth rolling experience over shortcut pastry and cookie dough. The coolness makes it ideal for making puff pastry. A marble rolling pin can be further cooled by placing it in a fridge or a freezer. Other rolling pins can be made of stainless steel, and a stainless steel rolling pin is similar to marble but lighter, well balanced, easy to clean, and also great at retaining cold. Now among those are rolling pins with handles, but there's one rolling pin that does not have a handle, and that is a French rolling pin. A French rolling pin is great because there are no nooks and crannies where dough and bacteria can accumulate. However, there is a learning curve to using this type of rolling pin. Then we have pastry bags. Pastry bags come in a variety of sizes, and in a pinch, you can use a 1-gallon Ziploc bag for a pastry bag. Pastry bags are cone-shaped bags with two open ends. They can be fitted with an array of tip sizes with different tip designs for piping icings, doughs, whipped creams, and other types of filling. They're used for decorating cakes, forming cookies, and pastries. They can be made of cloth or plastic or polyester. They come in disposable or reusable. As the name implies, a pastry bag is generally used by the pâtissier or by the dessert department. However, a pastry bag can be great for filling small tartlets and also in sandwich making processes. Next, we have rubber scrapers and spatulas. Also, I have quite a few. This is just a couple of them. Rubber scrapers and spatulas come in a variety of lengths. They come in a variety of sizes as far as the heads go. They come in a variety of shapes as far as the head is concerned. Rubber scrapers and spatulas are soft and flexible and used for folding foams and batters, scraping bowls, and keeping delicate ingredients from sticking to pan bottoms without destroying the ingredient. Rubber scrapers and spatulas come in a variety of materials, including plastic, nylon, silicone, and wood. Metal spatulas are called pancake turners, and they are good for lifting and turning food, especially ingredients that could be damaged by tongs. They come in a variety of sizes. As with any kitchen appliance, skip the plastic and the nylon and choose a high heat silicone or wood product. Now, all of my spatulas are silicone because silicone is heat proof up to like 500 degrees, which means I will not melt it in my pan like I have in the past. I'm going to make a stand about scrapers and spatulas and say that the best spatula that you can get is a silicone spatula. And also, if it has a metal core in it, it's also very good because it's very sturdy and won't break. There are a lot of different kinds of spatulas out on the market. I would say that a spatula is a very important tool to have in the kitchen, and the better quality one that you can pick, the better. From my experience using non-silicone like plastic or polyester scrapers, they melt in the pan. And melted plastic is poison, so let's not do that. Ladles. Ladles also come in a variety of sizes for a variety of different uses. Ladles can be used for transferring sauces or soups to a blender or serving bowl. The most common material that ladles are made out of are stainless steel, but they also come in plastic, polycarbonate, nylon, and silicone. I would say opt for a stainless steel or silicone ladle. To give you an idea, this size of a ladle would be appropriate for soups and stews, and this size ladle would be appropriate for something like a sauce. That's it for ladles. Meat mallets for smashing meat. Meat mallets come in wood or stainless steel, and they are similarly shaped to a hammer. They're used to tenderize or flatten meat. They can also be used to pulverize dried breadcrumbs and other such items used to coat other ingredients. Next is skimmers. Skimmers are perforated metal or mesh scoopers used for skimming foam from stocks or removing foods from hot oil or hot water. A spider is a specific tool for lifting or draining food out of hot oil, skimming stocks, blanching vegetables. It's commonly used in deep frying. Spoons are used for basting, stirring, mixing, and serving. They come in slotted and perforated and non-perforated. Spoons are used for basting, stirring, mixing, and serving. They come in metal and silicone most traditionally, such as with a pasta spoon. Others are solid and are used for mixing products. Then there are portion scoops. Sometimes they're used as ice cream scoops, but portion scoops are just what they sound like. They're used for portioning out ingredients such as cookie doughs, mashed potatoes. They are primarily used to make a consistently filled plate, or consistently sized cookies, or perfectly scooped ice cream. Another useful tool in the kitchen is a kitchen shears. Shears are a versatile tool that can be used for cutting twine, for trussing up meat, snipping herbs for garnish, cutting through raw or cooked meat. More heavy-duty pairs, such as poultry shears, can be used for cutting through bones. Cutting boards come in a variety of shapes, sizes, and materials. Cutting boards are used to provide a stable and safe platform for cutting ingredients. As mentioned in the episode about knives, cutting board materials are important. Opt for a composite bamboo or wood cutting board. Avoid marble and glass unless you're using them for baking. I don't recommend pure plastic cutting boards because of microplastics. However, a cutting board is all up to the individual. I've been in a number of different people's houses and there's always a different cutting board. I kind of frown on the ones that are just basically a piece of flat plastic because they don't offer a good stability that a quality cutting board would offer. However, some people just like more lighter kitchen equipment. And so I'm not here to tell you what cutting boards to choose, but choose the one that's the healthiest and the best for you. So next we're going to move on to small equipment as opposed to hand tools in the kitchen, and I just want to take this opportunity to explain why I feel it's important for for people pursuing cooking as a high-level hobby or pursuing cooking maybe as a profession. It's very important to understand all the tools at your disposal so that you can make the best decisions possible when you're making a dish. It's also part of my culinary education, which I'm trying to share with you, so that's why I decided to keep this part of the Culinary Bootcamp series. I know it's a lot of content. It's gonna span 3 episodes. Once we get past this, we're just getting that much closer to being able to get our hands on a knife and our fingers in some food and start cooking. So bear with me, and I hope you've enjoyed the content so far. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel or give me a thumbs up or leave me a comment. Just something to let me know that you were here. Anyway, so let's move on to small equipment. All right, so we're gonna start with measuring tools, which come in a variety of materials for different uses. This is a liquid measuring cup. It is for liquids only. These are metal, and they are for dry ingredients. So the main thing I want you to get from this specific part is that when it comes to cooking in the kitchen, liquid, dry ingredients. Liquid, dry ingredients. Now, I have some opinions on measuring. I know that it's not very popular in the United States to weigh things when you measure. However, weighing things are always more accurate, particularly when it comes to things like grains and flours and things like that. So I would suggest a scale. I think I'm going to be talking about this, about scales a little later, so I'm going to set this aside. But the reason it's more accurate is that, for instance, flour absorbs moisture from the air. And depending on the time of year, 1 cup of flour can weigh more than another cup of flour. As you know, baking is very scientific. So the water to solid ratio tends to be very important. There are graduated measuring pitchers and cups, some for wet and some for dry. Dry measuring cups nest and come in sizes from a 1/4 cup to 1 cup. Wet measuring cups come in 1 cup to larger sizes, and they can come in glass or metal. A couple different sets of each are considered adequate. And then there are measuring spoons. Generally, measuring spoons come in a 1/4 of a teaspoon to a tablespoon. You can get specialty ones with measurements like dash, smidgen, and pinch. Spoons come in a variety of different sizes, and they last a really long time if you take care of them. They come in a variety of different materials, mostly metal, but this is an aluminum set. It is also probably 40 years old. I don't know if they make measuring spoons in aluminum anymore because of the potential interaction with acids. I would say just skip aluminum if you can and get stainless steel for your measuring spoons. Spoons are generally used for ingredients in quantities smaller than a 1/4 of a cup. Look for those with long handles and easy to read increments with a narrow enough bowl that will fit into a spice jar. Next, we have thermometers, which are specifically important in meat cooking. Now there's a few different thermometers out there, but aside from the meat cooking one, you'll have a candy thermometer, and I'm pretty sure my candy thermometer is about 40 years old. So they last a really long time if you can take care of them. Then there's instant read thermometers, and I do not have one of those, but they look like this. And then there are deep frying thermometers, which look like this. And then the most important one is the meat thermometer, which comes in a variety of different styles. Mine is a little bit advanced and hooks up to an app and can monitor up to 6 different meats at a time. Next we have sieves or strainers. There are a couple different types of sieves or strainers. There's the food mill, which is used for pureeing softer cooked foods by pressing the item through selected discs, size from coarse to fine. There are a number of different sieves, and they include the drum sieve or a tamis, a conical sieve or a chinois, or a colander. Sieves are perforated metal bowls used for sifting flour. Generally, they are made with fine mesh or they're used for straining pureed foods. They can also be used for washing fruits and vegetables. A sieve that's used for straining pasta and blanching vegetables is called a Culinary. A ricer is a kitchen implement used to process potatoes or other food by forcing it through a sheet of small holes. A cheesecloth is a gauze made of white cotton with a fine mesh used by itself or in conjunction with a colander or sieve. It's also used in the creation of spiced sachets. Bowls. Lots and lots of bowls. Bowls come in a wide array of sizes and materials. Non-reactive stainless steel, glass, copper, and plastic. Please note that aluminum bowls will react with eggs and turn them gray, and with lemon, it will give them a metallic flavor. Unlined copper bowls are best used for egg whites as it stabilizes the whites as they foam. Once we get to the third part of this episode, I'll cover the materials and the specific interactions in a little bit more depth. Next, we have storage solutions. And storage solutions range from those that can go from fridge to freezer, into the microwave, into the stove. There are a number of different storage solutions. When considering your storage solutions, it's important to determine whether you're going to need something adequate for a dry product or a wet product. Fridge and freezer safe storage containers are the best to choose. So the different types of storage containers and solutions include plastic food grade bags or containers, which come in plastic, silicone, and glass. It's important if you use this type of container to have a tool for marking, as well as freezer or masking tape to place on the outside of the container. Then there is butcher paper or freezer paper. It's important to note that butcher paper and parchment paper are not the same. Butcher paper is thicker, more absorbent, and more permeable than parchment paper. Butcher paper also has a lower heat threshold and is lined with thin plastic on one side. It's used mostly for freezing meat and fish. Parchment paper or baking paper is a cellulose-based paper that is used mainly in baking as a substitute for greasing. Parchment paper is the most appropriate choice for grilling or making dishes that are en papillote, which means in paper. You can substitute a silicone baking sheet for low-waste cooking where applicable. Next is plastic wrap. Plastic wrap, which is known as cling film, food wrap, or saran wrap, and it is used for sealing and securing food into a dish. Aluminum foil, originally made out of tin, is now made of aluminum prepared in thin metal leaves. Aluminum foil in the United States is measured in thousandths of an inch or mil. The standard US gauge for aluminum foil is 0.63 and 0.94 mil, and the 0.94 mils is considered a heavy-duty aluminum foil.
There's an important companion video in the description regarding recycling codes and reusing store-bought food containers for storage. Please take a look at that when you have a chance.
This is definitely not a complete list of all the small hand tools that you can get in your kitchen. So, hand tools and small equipment. Which ones do I recommend for your home kitchen? Peeler, a can opener, a tongs, whips or whisks, a rolling pin, rubber scrapers and spatulas, as well as a metal spatula, ladles, cutting boards, kitchen shears, graduating measuring pitchers and cups, a scale, a thermometer of some type, spoons, and bowls. Now this just represents what I think is the most commonly needed things in a kitchen. So, thank you for watching today. I hope you learned something. I hope this was helpful. I hope you made it to this point. If you have any questions, please leave them in the description. Again, thank you. And as always, have a wonderful day.